Voting is underway in Russian-occupied parts of Ukraine on referendums to become part of Russia. The elections come as officials report new evidence of war crimes. Ukraine announced today 30 bodies exhumed from a mass grave in Izium had visible signs of torture. Meanwhile, people are lining up at border checkpoints around Russia, trying to leave the country. The exodus follows the Russian government's move to call up some 300,000 reserve troops to join the war on Ukraine.
For more on this, we're bringing in now CBS News correspondent Christina Ruffini, who is at the White House for us. Christina, we know President Biden has described this as a sham election. What does Russia intend to gain from this, what they call a referendum in these Russian-occupied parts of Ukraine?
Well, it's what they hope to get out of it, and they may not get it, because it seems to me what they're trying to do is lend some sort of legitimacy to their occupation of these areas. If, in case, as we've seen, the Ukrainian army has been very successful recently in pushing them back. So I think they're trying to say, like, look, the people here voted for us. They want us here. We're staying. This is a legitimate claim. These are self-governing territories, and the people here themselves have elected to be under that Russian umbrella. There's multiple issues with this. First of all, the way the vote is being conducted is they're going door to door in some places, and then they're going to have polling stations open later in the week. Keep in mind, most of the people who live there don't live there anymore, or so many of them have left. There's, this is why you see countries that have big natural disasters or giant conflicts delay their elections. It's because you can't have an election system when your country is in tatters like this. There's no transparency, there's no accountability, and the people they're saying are going to self-determine wanting to be under Russia, most of them aren't even there. They're in safer parts of Ukraine, or they've gone elsewhere in Europe. So, this is going to be highly criticized as a regular by the international community. It's very unlikely anyone will accept these results. But this is an effort by Russia, who's feeling a little bit on the back foot, to extend its reach over this territory and put kind of an election rubber stamp on their claims to these areas.
Christina, as this war rages on, more atrocities by Russian forces continue to be uncovered. Where does the investigation into Russian war crimes stand right now?
The U.S. has said that it really wants the Ukrainians to take the lead on these investigations. Our Deb Pata has done some amazing stuff following some of the investigators around as they go. One of the more interesting things is this is, in the past, we've seen these investigations come much later at the end of the conflict, whereas in Ukraine, they're happening simultaneously. So they're being investigated while the war is still progressing. In some ways, that makes investigations into war crimes easier because the evidence is fresh, memories are fresh, the events, unfortunately, are fresh. And in some ways, it makes it harder because it is an active war zone. It's dangerous. Things are moving. People are moving. And it's sometimes hard to track down what people say and find the evidence for that in any kind of safe or legitimate or provable way. But it's an effort between U.S. advisors, although the U.S. is not taking the lead on this. Ukrainian officials and Europeans have said that they're there to help. They're there to back up these courts. And it's still unclear exactly where these trials, if they come to that, for these war crimes will occur. That's something that's all going to have to be worked out. But of course, we're not there yet because, unfortunately, as they keep uncovering, they are still occurring and the conflict is still occurring and people are still suffering, and there will be much more likely that needs to be looked into.
Really horrific details emerging as this war goes on. Christina Ruffini at the White House for us. Christina, thank you.